Today is the darkest day in Manchester United's club history in a long, long, long time. I don't want to compare it to the people that have died for this club, playing for this club, but it feels like the death of the club today. Um, I I'm having a hard time making this video. Um, gonna try to keep it on the wraps, but it's fucking shit. It's shit. It's shit. If you haven't heard already, which I'm sure you have because it's all over the place, the Glazers have won. So Jim Ratcliffe has won the takeover bidding. Qatar and Sheikh Jassim have pulled out of the bid and they have ended their bid. And so it is over. And Sir Jim offer of 25% has been accepted by the Glazers. They will have a board meeting, or they had a board meeting, and it will be ratified in the next week or so, something like that. So the deal is set to be complete. I'm just gonna go ahead and I wrote down a bunch of bullet points so I could get this out accurate and fast and not waste anybody's time and get straight to the point. First off, so Jim, just as bad as the Elliott Group. Remember the Elliott Group that we all protested because they were American investment company that they wanted to give money to the Glazers, and the entire fan base went apeshit, and they attacked the company. They flooded their emails, and we told them no to Elliott. Same thing. Sir Jim is no different. Sir Jim is Elliott Group. He is giving the Glazers a couple billion. They get to stay in power. They get the money that they needed, and they get to stay, and he gets a little piece, and he's basically made a deal with the devil, pun intended. He made a deal with the fucking dirty rats that own our club, and he has allowed them to stay. And as far as I'm concerned, he's never getting a single chance from me. I don't care anything he says or anything he does. He's made a deal with the Glazers. He's allowed them to stay, and he is a Glazer. He is a Glazer. He will never not be a Glazer. He is a Glazer. Period. That's it. Now the problem we have, or in my opinion, the Glazers have played Qatar or Sheikh Jassim as fools publicly. They this is not something they accept culturally. They're very proud people. And I think not only are we fucked from a standpoint of the debt is staying and the Glazers are staying, but they, in the process, have also pissed off people that are serious about football, that want to own a club to make them champions and make them the biggest and best in the world. And I think it's going to come back to bite us in the ass as fans. I mean, the Glazers won't give a fuck, and Sir Jim won't give a fuck. But as fans of this club, it's going to come back and bite us in the ass, because Qatar or Sheikh Jassim will go and they will buy another club in the Premier League. And guess what? That club will leapfrog us. They will do better than us. They will win more than us. They will be more successful than us, and they will become a bigger club than us. It's period. It's done. It's I don't care. You want to say that speculation? No. It's bullshit. They will go and buy another club in the Premier League, whether it be Tottenham, whether it be Liverpool, whether it be Aston Villa, whether it be, Brighton, somebody, anybody. They will buy somebody, and they will be another City and Newcastle, another team that is performs way better than us, that finishes above us, that wins more things than us. So we are fucked. We are fucked. And anybody that thinks that we are not fucked, and anybody that thinks that this means the Glazers are going, you are a fool, you are a sheep, and you are exactly the people the Glazers love. You need to take your head out of your ass, open your eyes, and start paying attention to shit, and stop living in La La Land. Because I see these people claiming that the Glazers, it's over. Finally, we could start moving on to new things. It's not over. The Glazers are never leaving now. The Glazers are never leaving. And if you think they are, I don't know how many brain cells you have in your head, but you clearly don't have enough. and you need to fucking take a look in the mirror, or go read a book or something. I don't know, go gather some fucking intelligence in your brain, because you have none. Sir Jim was turned down by Chelsea and Barcelona. He offered very similar deals. Especially to Barcelona, he offered a similar deal where he wanted to give them money for investment for the stadium and take a small percentage of the club, and Barca turned them down because Barca is a football club and they're not a business. Barca, as much as they are getting clowned for the situation they're in, we are in a worse situation and we are bigger fucking clowns. Their fan base would never allow that. Their fan base elects the president. We don't have that luxury, but our fan base also had power. We also had the power to remove the Glazers, and our fan base failed because our fan base wanted to continue to buy merch, fund the Glazers, keep going to the matches, give them match day revenue, and keep them around. And, if you're a Glazer and you're looking at it, you're like, yeah, okay, they protest, they fucking hate us, but they're morons because they keep coming and they give us money. And we keep making the money that we actually make more money now than when we started. And they fucking hate us, but they keep giving us money. That's why they laugh at us, because they don't understand. It doesn't make any sense from their standpoint. Yeah, the Glazers are not leaving. We're fucked. They won't leave. I actually, I don't know where people get this false sense of hope or this trust, but I actually don't. I don't trust them one bit. I don't think that this deal, Sir Jim is going to claim he's got his foot in the door. I don't trust these Glazers. I don't, okay, he's going to get 25%. He's not even getting 25%. He's taking 12.5% from the Glazers and 12.5% from the other shareholders. So he's not even taking 25% off of the Glazers. So the Glazers are still going to have about 50% of the club, and they're still going to be the full owners of the club. So for me, I think this is the Glazers being as dirty as they possibly can, and they're pretending like they're gonna let Sir Jim in the door. They're gonna take his money, and they're never gonna sell. They're gonna turn around and they're gonna fucking stab him in the back, just like they did when they did this takeover in the original first place. They came in, they started buying out, and they were doing dirty business tactics, which is what you have to do as a businessman. You have to do dirty, shrewd, ruthless tactics. But I think this is another one of them. I think they're just going to take his money with a promise that they'll sell in the future, but there's nothing to legally hold him to sell in the future. And then in the future, they'll tell him some ridiculous price. He won't have the money for it. And they just won't want to sell. They won't want to sell it because they're going to keep making money off of this. The fan base, I already mentioned, the fan base has failed this club. We have the power, we have the numbers. This club is only as big as it is and only has as much money as it does because of us, because of the fans. And you know what? This fan base, I've been saying it for a while. This fan base has failed this club, because it's too divided. There's too much bullshit going on. We have the numbers, we have the power with our money in our eyes. We could have kicked the Glazers out fucking years ago. We could have kicked them out now, but everybody sat on their ass for the past 10 months because accounts online are telling them that Qatar is going to win it. Qatar is going to win it. So we could just sit back on a fucking lounge chair with our feet up and wait for Qatar to come in and win it, instead of making the final push and sinking the Glazers by not giving them money. If you took just a little bit of money out from the money that they are getting, they would have sold. They would have sold. They would have taken the offer from Qatar because they would have seen that they are going to end up losing more money in the long term. But you know what? This fan base has no balls. This fan base refuses to stand up and sacrifice things. You really keep buying the jerseys. You'd rather have your closet filled with kits from United and have the Glazers own the club? Go ahead. Keep doing it. But I don't want to hear you fucking complaining when we're finishing in 8th place and we're not making top 4s anymore. And the past 10 years that we've went through, we're going to do it another 10 years. Okay? So this is a death blow for generations of United fans to come. Because I don't know if you people understand, but the way this is structured, Jim isn't going to be able to potentially take over the club for at least the next 3 to 5 years. That means that the next 10 plus years is going to be the same 10 years that we just went through. So enjoy another 10 years of this bullshit, because nobody wanted to stand up and nobody wanted to do anything. Everybody wanted to keep taking their money. Here you go, Glazers. You could have some more. You could have some more. Take more of my money, please. Please, I'm begging you. Take more of my money, please. That's what everybody fucking did. That's what everybody did. It's a damn shame. And let me just explain this. You know, we had, for all these morons that want to say, you know, but this was the only option because the Glazers weren't going to sell and Sir Jim did what he had to do. Bullshit. We walked away from a man who was going to clear the debt immediately on day fucking 1 of buying the club. He was going to clear the debt. He was going to invest over $1 billion into the fucking stadium. We walked away from that, and we walked away from a guy that was going to go toe-to-toe with Manchester City immediately. We walked away from that to get a man who's only going to be a minority shareholder, who doesn't have enough money to buy the full club, and it's going to take him years to do it. We walked away from that to get this fucking rat. Okay? Get that through your heads. Understand that we are fucked. This club is dead. Done. Finished. Finished. And the Sir Jim PR is coming. Don't worry about it. It's coming. And to all these people, these little sheep, that's who they want. They want you. They're readying up the PR for you, so you could swallow it up and eat it and keep buying the kits and keep showing up to the matches and keep giving them money. And they're never going to win, and they're never going to be successful, and they're never going to be run like a proper football club. It's going to be business, 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 business. This is not a football deal. This is a business deal. This is strictly about money for Sir Jim and the Glazers, and that's it. And if Sir Jim wasn't so desperate for his vanity project, the only offer the Glazers would have had was Qatar's, and the Glazers were on their knees, and they would have had to sell. They would have had to accept it, because there was nobody else willing to give them the money that Sir Jim has given them. So I don't want to hear this nonsense about it was the only way. It was the only way. It was not the only way. The only way was for Sir Jim to stay the fuck out and not do this selfish, needy, fucking greedy deal that he has done with these rats. He is a rat. He is a Glazer. Will always be a Glazer. End of story. I don't care what anybody says. The gradual buying of the club from the Glazers is bullshit PR. Don't think it's gonna happen. Don't think it's gonna happen. I think they might say it's gonna happen. I don't think the Glazers will. I think, like I said before, I think the Glazers will turn around and I think they will stab him in the back. I think they're gonna take his money and they're gonna use it. And I don't think Joel and Avram are ever going to sell, because I think they're going to find ways to keep making more and more and more money. And as long as they make money, they will stay. And I don't understand how people don't understand this. These guys only care about money. They don't give a fuck if we finish in 4th. They don't care if we finish in 10th. They don't care if we finish in 15th. If they make money, they are winning. So the only solution that we've been saying, many of us, stop giving them money. Stop giving them money and they will fucking go. But you keep giving them money and they will stay. Simple as that. Simple as that. The debt, this is the biggest one. I don't know how I didn't mention it before. The debt is staying. What are we doing with the debt? He was going to clear the debt. Sheikh Jassim. He was going to clear the debt immediately. Yeah? What happens to the debt now? The debt is staying on the club. Why? Because Sir Jim doesn't have the fucking money to buy this club. So that means that every time he gets more money, right, that money is going to the Glazers to buy little bits and more bits of them. Okay? What happens to the debt? The debt is staying. He doesn't have money to pay off the debt. He doesn't have money to buy out the Glazers. So he's going to buy out the Glazers after fucking 5 to 6 years. And guess what? We're still going to be in debt. It's a terrible shit deal. Terrible. This is the worst deal you could have possibly done. We might as well have Elliott Group as the fucking investor. It's the same shit. So Jim does not care about a sporting project. This is a money project for Sir Jim and the Glazers. I mentioned that, to take as much money as possible off of the club. The club will continue to operate as a business first. Nothing will change. Sir Jim has run Nice, the club that he owns in France, for 3 years. Run it like shit. It has failed. It's a failing project. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing in football. And we are now getting 2 failures joining together to own one of the biggest clubs in the world. And you tell me how that's going to be a successful venture. We are fucked. It's going to be a complete and utter failure. We have 2 failures joining together. They are not successful people in football terms. And this club will not be successful in football terms. So Jim is a Glazer, period. Will never be forgiven, and I will never consider him as my owner. He is not a fan of the club. He has fucked this club and all of the fans worldwide. Period. There's no fucking discussion about it. There's no debate. There's no different opinion. Period. He is a Glazer, and he has fucked over this club, and he has fucked over all our fans worldwide. Hundreds of millions of people. He has fucked every single one of us over by doing this deal because he is selfish and he's a greedy fucking bastard. So Jim, of course, will come out and argue this was the only way to get in and buy the club and get the Glazers out, which is PR bullshit. Only way for him to win, not for the club. This is about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, not about Manchester United, not about us, the fans. This is a selfish fucking deal he's done. It's a bullshit. He doesn't care about this club. He is not a fan. He tried to buy Chelsea. He tried to go for Barcelona. And he's ended up with us because we have shit owners and we are fucking shit. And we are our owners were the only ones willing to accept a deal by him. All the other clubs turned him down because he is not a good candidate as an owner. He is just like the Glazers, and Glazers recognize Glazers. So there we are. We have another minimum of another 10 years of being unsuccessful, not being competitive, and being a mid club. Minimum 10 years. Might be longer now. Might be longer. Another 10 years. Another 10 years. I mentioned this already. Sir Jim's 25% is not 25%. It's 12.5% of the Glazers share and 12.5% of shareholder shares. So he is a minority. I don't even want to call him an owner. He's a minority investor. That's what he is. He doesn't own a fuck all, right? The Glazers are still in charge. They still own this club. They still have all the power, and they will still have the power, and they will still own everything at this club, and they will still have the final say on everything about this club. This is a terrible fucking deal for everybody involved except for Sir Jim and the Glazers. And I just, the fans had the power. We've always had the power. Too many of us have been grinded down by the Glazers, disillusioned, to seem like we don't have the power, like we are powerless, like we are weak. And it's not true. I think people need to, they need to open up their eyes a little bit. They need to pull some of this faith out, this hope. The fans have the power. We are the money. Do you not understand this? We are the money. The club only has this money, and all these sponsors are willing to give them money because of the large fan base, because of the support that we show for this club, because of the love that we have for this club. We are the money. We are the club. Do you not understand? We have the power. You empty this fucking stadium behind me. Yeah? You empty it a quarter. A quarter. It doesn't have to be all 70,000 people. A quarter. A quarter of this fucking... for a few matches. That's all we had to do. They would have lost match day revenue and they would have shit themselves. And we can still do it. We can still do it. There's sponsors to go after. There's money for them to lose in this stadium off of this deal. Take the money out of them. Take the money. Make them lose money and they will go. They only care about the money. Our eyes equal dollars. Our eyes equal their dollars. Okay? It's just, I can't, man. We have the largest fan base probably in the world, which makes us the most powerful, but we're so fucking divided. We are the weakest. We are the weakest. There's smaller clubs with a smaller fan base, but they are so unified, they are fucking stronger than us. I don't understand how this fan base, everybody wants the fucking Glazers out. How has this fan base not pulled together, put aside their bullshit fucking differences about online fans and I live in Manchester and I'm a real fan and you're not a real fan? How have they not put this aside, come together and kick the fucking Glazers out? We've had more than 20 years to do this. 20 fucking years. And we have failed. And now you're going to watch this club be fucking buried. Buried. Alive. When it was still alive, and now they're going to bury it and say it's fucking dead. The Glazers rely on us. They rely on us. And we couldn't come together to stop feeding them. They rely on us. They've always relied on us. If they didn't have us, they wouldn't have no money. They wouldn't have money from the club. They wouldn't stay. They relied on us. And guess what? Because we're petty and we're weak fan base and we couldn't come together and no one wanted to sacrifice shit, we kept feeding them. We let them stay. We let them stay. We did this to ourselves. We had the power. I think we still have the power, but I think now it's even worse because now I think people are going to look at that and they're just going to fully give up. They're just going to be like, there's nothing we can do, and they're not even going to try. When I would argue, if I had the fan base of the United Stand, of Mark, of some of these other channels, I would be fucking calling every single person I know, and I would be getting them all together, and I'd be like, we're going to take one final fucking stand and stop this from happening. You need to at least try. If you try and you fail, that's one thing. If you sit there with your fucking dick in your hand and you watch this go down and then you want to bitch and cry, there's no sympathy. There's no sympathy for that. I don't. It's one thing to try and fail. It's another thing to just fucking not even give an attempt and just say we failed from the beginning. That is cowardness. And I do not respect cowardness in any form. And I'm just going to put some things into context before I end this video because I pretty much covered everything I wanted to say. And I just have this brilliant thing here. The Glazer family turned down $8 billion for the full sale of Manchester United, a club that they have invested none of their own money into, have taken 1.2 billion pounds out in the last 18 years. For context, Manchester City's owners have invested over 700 million pounds in that same time. And it highlights their pure level of greed from the Glazers. Since taking over the club, they haven't invested anything into the infrastructure, and now we are falling behind rivals both on and off the pitch. $8 billion was there for the taking, but instead, they are going to accept a 25% stake from Sir Jim the Ratcliffe Glazer, which will give them the funds to stay at the club a little bit longer. And then you can best believe they'll find something else to get them to stay a little bit longer and a little bit longer and a little bit longer. They're not going anywhere, people. Sir Jim ain't ever going to own this fucking club. He is a pawn and they used him and he is a moron. $1 billion in debt. We are $1 billion in debt. But still managing to get an $8 billion offer way over the club value. Remember, that's way overpriced. For a club they neglected, they don't give a fuck. It's all about money. And they needed to sell or raise investment. Just to reject it is a new level of greed. They are the greediest, scummiest people on the planet. On the planet. And every time I see a picture of them, every time I see their little rat smile, I wish I could punch them through the fucking TV. I wish I could punch them right through my fucking screen. But I can't. And I wish I could. But I know everybody else feels this way. I know every time they see that those two fucking cocksuckers' faces, they want to just. I can't even say this because YouTube will fucking ban me for inciting violence or whatever. But you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. You know what it is. You know what it is. Sometimes it is the answer. Just say. Just say. So this is it. The club is fucked. We are fucked. It's gonna be a dark future for this club. But I got nothing left to say, man. I'm seriously considering. I love this club, and I'm never gonna support a different club, but I may have to just spend less time investing less of my time into this club because it's gonna kill me. It's gonna kill me. I mean, there is no hope with these people here. There is no hope. There is no hope. It's never gonna get better. We're never gonna win a championship. We're never gonna be the United we used to be. That shit is dead. That shit is dead. And it will only ever change once they've sucked all the money out and we are completely fucking destroyed. I've said this many times. And when that day happens, we will be the lowest of the low we've ever been in this club's history. And then the rebuild of that will take who knows how long, and who knows if it will even ever be successful. The damage could be permanently done, and it might be way too late for that, and we might become a Blackburn Rovers, never coming back. Never coming back to what they once were. So I hope all of you, I don't even know, man. I hope all of you find some type of positivity, way to move forward with this. I just I don't know. I need more time to process this. I I would tell you to enjoy the rest of your weekends, but I don't even know how the fuck you guys are gonna do that. I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm not gonna be able to do it. It's just ruined a lot of shit for me. I woke up late today. I had a late night last night. Woke up late today. First thing I seen, Fabrizio Romano tweeting that Sheikh Jassim has backed out and the Glazers have accepted Ratcliffe's thing. And I thought I was in a nightmare. I tried to wake myself up from it until I realized it was a fucking reality. And it's probably the worst thing ever because the nightmare is the reality. This is the biggest nightmare ever. The Glazers are staying. Sajim is now a certified Glazer, and we have lost Qatar, and Qatar will go buy another club, and they will be bigger and better than us, and they will win more than us, and they will enjoy more success than us. Well, I'll probably see you guys when the football comes back because international football sucks and it's very boring, and there's not much more to talk about at this point. So if something major breaks like this, I'll see you guys then. If not, we'll see you after the match against whoever we're playing at the weekend. See you guys later.